We're covering Season 2, Episode 9, entitled Triggerfinger. I hear you have a little spot of news for us this week.
Yeah, last week there was an article from The Vulture that came out to interview Glenn Mazzara, and he probably for the first time opened up about the backseat politics of The Walking Dead.
Oh, with Darabont?
His differences with Darabont.
Oh, yeah.
And this has spawned like a whole huge wave of criticism on The Walking Dead, which I think is interesting because this episode kind of polarized people, and we'll get to that a little bit. Mm-hmm. But he cleared up a couple things. Number one, he does not consider there to be a budget crisis with The Walking Dead at all.
Yeah.
So all these budget cuts, like I've been saying all along, and I know Seppenwall's also been saying this, that the budget cuts, when you talk about the entire budget per episode, don't amount to a hill of beans. Two, that it seems like that Darabont's problem was that he couldn't really make the transition to TV, that he was seeing the season as like a whole movie where, well, of course nothing's happening until the third act and the last few episodes because that's the way it's supposed to be. And he was always going for these kind of gotchas and twists instead of, and painting the characters in broad strokes. Because if you're making a 3-hour movie... Mm-hmm. To be generous, or 2-hour movie, that's about the only brush you have to paint with.
Yeah, definitely.
You can have this one scene and it's like intense, whereas in The Walking Dead has kept that same scene get repeated again
and when you think about it, TV's got to be pretty difficult to pull off because they don't just have that one thing to be concerned about. Every episode you need those 3 acts, and every single season you need 3 acts. How do you balance that? So I sympathize.
Right. So, but he said that because of that, the show was perceived as being too slow, and he actually mentioned he was happy with that criticism.
Oh, wow.
And that he wanted to bring back some of the intensity from his days of The Shield to The Walking Dead, which I think are things that, as fans, we want to hear.
I didn't know he worked on The Shield, but that's pretty cool.
Right. But it's also... He talked about how difficult the transition was because a lot of the cast and crew were personally loyal to Darabont, and he got kind of framed as this Benedict Arnold type, and that was a difficult thing to work through. So
Benedict Arnold,
right? Anyway,
guy's been a dick for a long time.
So anyway, if you want to read that, I'll probably post it to the Facebook site tonight before the episode drops. Cool. I'll definitely link it to the show notes, but I thought it was pretty illuminating.
Yeah, definitely. All right, are we ready for the recap?
Are we going to talk about our thoughts of the show up front?
Sure, let's do that.
Well, what'd you think? Once again, we did not... No, we did watch this together.
We watched this, yeah, we did.
It didn't feel like we did.
Sure. So I thought this was a mixed bag as far as an episode of The Walking Dead.
I thought you liked it a lot more, and I was going to be comfortable attacking it from the rear.
No, don't get me wrong. I liked it a lot, but there were some moments in there where I was thinking, man, this is... ultra melodramatic bullshit, and there were moments where I was thinking, man, this is freaking awesome.
Oh, you know what? So I think actually the parts that you liked, I didn't really have much of a problem with, or that you didn't like, I didn't have much of a problem with, and I kind of enjoyed. If you're referring to the...
I'm referring to the build-up to whether or not Glenn had been shot, and also the way Lori handles Shane later in the episode.
Okay, well, then maybe we're on the same page.
Okay.
I think that this was a pretty big regression back to Season 2.0 mean. And I think I can see the reasons why.
What are the reasons for that?
It just seems that Rick takes 2 steps forward of being the badass leader of this group that he needs to be given the zombie apocalypse, et cetera, et cetera. This episode, he deliberately takes 1 step back.
What is that?
And taking risking everybody's life to save that young guy whose leg was impaled on the wrought iron fence.
And Shane calls him out.
And then taking him back to the group.
Yeah.
Both of those things were objectively stupid.
I can get behind you on that, yeah.
I mean, again, if this was any other scenario but if this was a zombie outbreak and not an apocalypse, I could argue that that's okay. But this is no TV or radio on the air.
Full-blown apocalypse.
Full-blown.
Yeah.
It's full-blown apocalypse.
It doesn't get much more blown than this.
It's FBA. Yeah, you cannot blow more than... Because 1 step over to zombie apocalypse is just zombies.
Yeah, it's no more humans.
No humans, and there's no one around to even notice. So that's the last stop towards oblivion. We're at full-blown apocalypse.
So Rick doesn't get any breaks for that.
Hell no.
Okay.
And I think he regressed a little bit back to, a little bit more beta.
Okay.
Beta.
Well, we'll talk more
Not
about
better,
this stuff.
like, better. Like beta.
I got
Beta.
Like Beta Max.
Yes.
Not Better Max.
Beta minimum in Rick's case.
All right. Let's get into the recap where we can talk more about this stuff.
Sure.
So it opens up with Lori after her wreck, waking up to a zombie trying to get into the car. And what I thought this scene was a killer way to open it.
Well, and it helps to watch it in the dark with the sound cranked up.
Sure, yeah. But the feeling there was just so creepy. I actually thought they should have played it where she didn't wake up before the intro sequence.
You mentioned that. I actually like her getting her kind of horrified reaction. I'm surprised at how much internet reaction was like, this would have been so awesome except for we didn't care that Lori lived or died. In fact, we preferred it she died.
Yeah, that is a little bit of a problem.
It's like, do you imagine how effective this would be if we actually felt something for Lori?
Yeah.
Because I'm squarely in the camp of I don't like her.
Yeah,
I think
I am
she's
too.
bad for the group.
Yeah, I've come to some realizations that we'll talk about later with Lori. But I think if this were like Glenn or if it were Maggie would be one that we would really care about, Mm-hmm. I mean, she's the nice girl who you don't want to see get eaten by the zombies.
No, I would have to say the people I care. If I'm giving don't give a shit and two shit categories. The two shitters are definitely Glenn, Maggie, Daryl, and that's it. There's some people I'm ambivalent about, like Andrew's
Carl.
worked her way from the don't give a shit to give a shit.
Yeah, she's headed
Carl's in there, T-Dog's in there, Andrew's in there, and Shane's in there.
It's hard to give a shit about T-Dog right now because he hasn't done anything.
Right, but he hasn't done anything to antagonize me.
But you're right, yeah.
Shane's in there because I just he kind of annoys me, and plus he's a rapist. The don't give a shit category is like Live or Die is Dale, Lori, Carol.
Okay.
That's about it. Oh, Herschel's in. I probably give a shit about Herschel after this episode.
What about Beth? The comatose.
Don't give a shit. Don't even know her name.
Yeah, I didn't know her name until this episode.
So, yeah.
Okay, well, let's move on then. We pick back up with Dave and Tony dead at the hands of Rick and Herschel and Glenn, and their friends show up looking for them, and the guys hide. I thought...
Dave's not here, man. I thought so funny. When they're knocking on the doors, ask for Dave.
Yeah.
No, I'm awesome. Dave. He's not here. Anyway.
But it was good to see them scavenging guns and ammo, though.
Yeah.
I thought that was a cool little detail to put in there.
Immediately going to looting the bodies.
Yeah. Even Glenn. Glenn knew what was up.
Sure.
Glenn heads over and picks up a gun. So then we go back to Lori, who climbs out of the car and kills 2 zombies.
That, the FX work on that zombie, pushing his face in and like the skin's peeling off, and that zombie just acted his shit out of that.
I mean, this is the action that zombies are good for, because a human isn't going to tear their face off trying to get through a windshield. A zombie will. That's what's so scary about them.
It depends what's on the other side of the windshield.
Really? What, like Twinkies or something?
A nice heavenly ham. And I was really hungry. I could, maybe.
Bottle of Jack.
And heavenly ham?
Herschel would shove his face through steel.
Yeah, get right
to
out.
get to a bottle of Jack.
What the hell did Lori stab this zombie with?
It was actually the windshield wiper controls.
And they established in the next shot that the gun was in easy arm's reach of where she was kind of like flailing for. I was wondering this whole time, was like, what the hell? Where is your gun?
Yeah. I was on the floor, like, or on the side
ground
of the...
where she was laying.
I mean, I don't really fault her for not picking it up.
Really?
Yeah, because she was in very, very imminent danger.
I tell you what, it's a good thing that there was a hole in that windshield that the zombie went for, because I kind of think that if the windshield had been pristine, that the zombie climbs up and gets to her through the open window on the passenger side.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because we've seen that zombies can climb.
Sure,
this zombie seemed to be fit. So, yeah.
Fit enough to shove his face through a windshield.
And when I kind of thought, because I don't think Lori's untouchable. I don't think she's in the category. Like, I think Rick is untouchable.
I don't know. Based on
Carl's untouchable.
The way
Glenn's
she feels
untouchable.
after this car crash, she might be untouchable because she just jumps right up, no problem. After rolling her car over.
I'm just saying that it's somewhat effective to put her in danger because, like, when that zombie grabbed her by the hair, I'm thinking, shit, maybe this is all over for her. I would buy her dying at this point.
Yeah, it would be nice.
Daryl's untouchable.
I hope Daryl's untouchable.
I'm just saying if they killed those people, I would be flummoxed. Everybody else is pretty much up for grabs.
All right. So then the group is sitting down to eat, but they find out that Lori's missing. And I found it interesting that in the absence of Rick and Herschel, Shane's sitting at the head of the table here.
No questions asked.
Yeah, he just sits right down.
He stepped right into the daddy spot.
Interesting.
Going to take the daddy piece of chicken.
Yeah?
Yeah. Put on the daddy pants.
Uh-huh. Which hat is he going to wear?
If he wore a hat, it'd be the daddy hat.
Okay.
So, I thought that was very interesting, too.
Yeah, so they go looking for her all around the farm. And then Dave and Tony's friends try to get into the bar, but it basically turns into a shootout. I mean, just right off the bat. Now, what do you think? Rick definitely didn't look pleased at all when Glenn jumped in front of that door. He had his gun up. He was ready to blast whoever came through there. What do you do in this situation? Are you going to go with Rick and just blast whoever comes through? Or do you...
I'm kind of wondering why they didn't execute Rick's brilliant plan of get the hell out of the bar when they had the chance. Like, very quietly, stealthily, head to the back of the bar and get out of there.
Yeah.
And let the rednecks pass. And because I believe their car was in the back anyway.
Yeah, I mean, it seemed like it.
So I don't know. I didn't think that was a great plan. And obviously Glenn kind of just reacted on...
Yeah.
So, but then I also don't know what Rick was trying to pull with this whole, they drew on us first business. And they kind of explained it.
Yeah, and Herschel looks really pissed about it.
You don't understand. This is how the new reality works.
He's like the speech he gives everyone.
He's getting yeah. You don't know what it's like out there, except for you are out there. You are out there with the zombies, but you don't know.
So you do know.
But if you knew what I know, and I know what you know, we would just put our guns down and go home. But you can't come with us. I don't know. I thought, like, who's he trying to convince here?
It's not going to work.
This is Beta Rick slipping back into Beta Rick mode.
Yeah, I mean, but he was ready to kill him. It just Glenn kind of jumped in the way and thwarted that. So
you think so?
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, once Glenn jumped in the way and they knew there were people in there, Rick had to change his plan.
I think Rick would have done some dumbass thing like, pointed to his head and took him a hostage, and then it was
yeah, just
until the zombies came to eat them all.
Gotcha. Yeah.
That's
and
what
then
I
save
think.
them once they got hurt.
Do I think he would have killed that dude in cold blood? No way.
No?
Not after I saw when I see from the rest of the episode.
Yeah, good point. So then we go to Carol and Daryl, one of their scenes together. She tells him that Lori's gone, and he tells her that Lori must have gone after Rick because of the conversation they had earlier. Carol questions why he didn't say anything about that conversation, and Daryl doesn't respond. She then pleads with him not to distance himself from the group, but Daryl doesn't care. Daryl just gives her the silent treatment there. I like here that Daryl is as kind of the voice of the audience calling Lori a dumb bitch who went off to try to save her husband who didn't need saving. That was pretty good. And I feel like Daryl oftentimes is the voice of the audience a bit. When stupid shit's happening, he calls it out.
Him and Shane,
yeah.
Are both the voice of the audience.
Yeah, Daryl more so in season 1, for sure, where he's threatening to kill everybody with an axe.
Yeah.
Shane stepped up a little bit in that role this season, though. Did you have any comments about that episode, or that scene, rather?
Not really.
No? Okay. We'll get to another Carol and Daryl scene here.
That's the good one.
The really good one.
As I call it, the good one. And I kind of think... I wish the first scene didn't exist because it kind of blunted the impact of the second one.
Okay. So Carol reports back to the group, and Shane speeds off after Lori. This is a short scene. I didn't have much to say about it. So if you didn't either, we can move on. The attackers at the bar try the back door, but Glenn moves to intercept. What did you think about Glenn's actions here in going into the basement or whatever this was?
I thought it was hilarious because Rick's like, there's a scary sound in the basement. Glenn, you check it out. I have a son. Herschel has many daughters. Do you not understand that you are less valuable?
Oh, really? Oh, man.
Yeah, and then Glenn's kind of like, I feel like he's a man who's progressively shitting his pants throughout this whole scene.
Like they're just filling up throughout the scene.
Yes, little by little. Like, because like you see him when he's like, oh, God, but I can't say no. And he goes down the basement, tense as hell, ends up kind of faking his own death in combat later on. I mean, I just feel like Glenn's a mess, and I didn't really figure out why until the, later on in the episode.
Yeah. Then we'll talk about that.
But yeah, it's like anytime you hear a scary noise, there's a zombie in the well, send Glenn. There's a zombie in the basement, send Glenn. Need to go someone out and get the truck to pull it around when there's a bunch of crazy gunmen and zombies outside. Shit, send Glenn.
Maybe Rick was using his size as the reasoning here. Well, he's less likely to get hit. There's less of him.
Yeah, I don't know.
Just like he did in the well. So then Shane finds Laurie's car and 2 dead walkers, but Laurie is nowhere to be found.
And I'm like, where the hell would she go? Would she? And then it's kind of weird. We hear in the distance either the sound of shotguns or thunder.
It's hard to tell which.
And if we heard it, and I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be guns. That was supposed to be the shotgun blast. If we heard it, then surely now we found out later that Laurie's, another half mile up the road. Surely she heard it, which I don't understand how Shane was able to so easily talk her into thinking. Well, of course, I guess why would she think Shane would lie?
Yeah, although she brings up his history of lying later.
True.
But I'm wondering, is that if that is gunshots and not thunder, is that a shot that we saw happen at the bar?
I think
is that what
that's
we're
how
supposed
I
to see?
took it.
Okay.
That's how I interpreted it. I could be wrong, but that's how I interpreted it.
All right. So Laurie continues to walk to town apparently here, because we know later Shane picks her up further down the road. Why do you think, is this like the only road between the farm and town, and she assumes that when she woke up, that Rick hadn't been back yet because this is the way he would go and he would see her?
Well, supposedly we somehow know from previous episodes that there is only one road between the farm and the main town.
Okay.
Which makes her looking at the map stupid, and I don't know. This is beyond stupid. This is pissing me off just talking about it. Why? So she wrecks her fucking car.
Yeah.
And she fights off 2 zombies, and her reaction is to, I'm going to continue to go rescue Rick.
Yeah. Even though she has no idea how long she's been out.
It's ludicrous. It's ludicrous, the fact that I'm seeing this and that she is this child at home's mother and she's carrying an unborn child, and she wants to potentially make Carl an orphan in this fucking world. Yeah. I hate her, and I hate her, and it's bullshit. So
the trouble.
What more can I say?
I wish that wasn't in this episode, but
let me get a thesaurus and look up the word bullshit. I can tell you more about how I feel.
It's a picture of Laurie. What?
Oh.
Yeah. I mean, they kind of had to deal with what happened last time, and I wish that they didn't, but
they could have killed her.
This is how it goes. Yeah.
Which I thought was interesting. As I was recording the feedback, I at one point hit 3 emails in a row saying at the end of last week's, it wouldn't be awesome if Laurie was dead. I'm like, that's a problem, show people.
Yeah. You don't want people to say that about your characters.
I thought it was interesting. I was reading a review on Grantland, which is rapidly becoming one of my favorite. It's a sports site, but it's become one of my favorite pop culture sites. Where their reviewer, and I can't remember his name, said it was a cosmic miscalculation by the producers to begin the show on this kind of cliffhanger because 9 out of 10 audience members doesn't care about Laurie.
That's true.
So it's like you're shooting your wad on this awesome shot of a character who we just assume, like, zombie eater.
Yeah, go get her.
Right. Anyway.
Yeah, good point. So the next scene is a really long scene. I'm going to break it into a couple parts. The first part is that Rick sends Herschel over to cover Glenn while he's in the back, and he tries to get to the car. They get ambushed, and Glenn goes down. This is the whole thing where They think Glenn has been shot, and they kill the other guy, and they watch the dumbest man on the earth jump off of a rooftop.
Yes.
And impale himself on a fence. And the rest of the guys drive off where they're yelling about roamers.
All right.
This scene, to me, I like the action that happens behind the bar, but I don't like anything about this Randall guy who jumps off the rooftop. There's nothing I like about him.
I'm at a loss because, I mean, I can't see how this happened. It looked like he jumped, ricocheted off one building. It's like a Rube Goldberg contraption. He ran down a ramp. A bowling ball knocked some pins over. A fan turned on and blew a little sailboat across a tub of water, and then he impaled himself on an iron spike.
Yeah.
What the? I've watched it like 6 times. I still don't know what the fuck happened and why he thought that was remotely a good idea.
Yeah, and why everyone was telling him to jump. Where's he going to jump to?
Why wouldn't he? Just because there's like several different. Okay. He climbed up there.
Somehow, yes. He
probably
is up there.
didn't take like an hour. I'm assuming it probably took 30 seconds or so.
There were no zombies visibly trailing the truck.
And if you're going to jump on anything, why not jump in the truck? You know, it's like, why?
Sure.
Or at least work your way to the second level and do that thing where you kind of hang off and, then you're like 5 to 6 feet closer to the ground and drop. Yeah. And that just... Again,
this kid is dumb.
It's like it reminds me of the scene in episode 201 where they framed this deal with the road where the zombie horde just came out of nowhere.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
and it's like you can pull this scenario off, but for me as an audience member, not to be going like I wrote the word WTF no less than 3 times in one paragraph in my notes because I just couldn't believe like okay, Lynn, what all's going on here. Mm-hmm. You have to. You can do that scenario. I just wish they'd set it up a little bit different.
Yeah, I get you.
I feel like they didn't storyboard it. They just like, we got a stunt man.
He jumped off the roof and hurts himself.
Jump in front of it. Well, we can't. The crash mat's way too big. It's sticking out for the truck. Have him bounce off that building, land in the alley, and we'll put a dumpster and a fence there, and he'll get. That's. I just made it up and went with it.
Sure.
Anyway.
The other thing here is where Glenn may or may not have been shot, and there's this whole big buildup. You didn't think this was over the top with Herschel saying, "Oh, I think he's been shot. He's not moving back there," and
I thought he was.
And Rick on his way calling out, "Glenn, are you all right?" Glenn not answering. Like it all just seemed like overly dramatic.
Maybe, but Glenn's not really a hero, and PTSD is real, and it could have been him just kind of having this heroic blue screen of death where he just...
And that's what it was. I mean, we know later that he was thinking of Maggie and himself.
No, I thought it was actually
to die.
Way more realistic than him Ramboing up and blowing his way through some weird gunmen and zombies and roaring up to rescue with the truck. Like Shia LaBeouf or whatever.
Again, it was just the way this was... shot and framed, I guess, that made me think, man, this is too melodramatic for me.
Right.
Anyway, so let's move on to part 2 of that scene. This is when the guys make a break for the car, but Rick has apparently gone off to save this idiot who impaled his leg on an iron gate. They debate how to get him off the gate until the zombies close in, and then they don't have time to remove his leg, so Rick just pulls his leg off the fence, and they all get in the car.
Which, if that was possible, why didn't they just do it from the beginning?
Well, it wasn't a good idea. I think Herschel there explains that if we just pull him off of here, he's going to have like horrible damage to his leg.
Well, but if they cut it off, it's going to be just fine?
But he's saying like he might bleed to death because of this, whereas he could have easier access, I guess, to fix it if his leg weren't there.
See, here's the thing. The show had an opportunity to be awesome. And have them jointly decide to put this guy out of his misery.
And Herschel suggested that. Yeah, they almost did it.
And that would have been, to me, much more interesting about, as they're riding, you could have had the scene where they're all riding, like, what are we going to tell? Mm-hmm. What have we become? Some navel gazing there. Not that that's particularly interesting, but this whole thing of Rick walking all the way back to, we must rescue this guy that was just shooting us. Glenn's calling bullshit. Herschel's not happy about it. In fact, I don't know. It would have been interesting to see Herschel whip out his gun and, like, while Rick's reverting back to Beta Rick mode, him. Just be like, pow, you know?
Yeah. Well, I feel like the writers know what they're doing here. I don't enjoy this. The writers definitely know that they're trying to create this conflict within Rick, where last episode we see him blow two guys' heads off, and then this episode we see him saving people.
See, if I was still writing reviews, I would have said what's the problem with that storytelling approach is this is much like Anakin's fall to the dark side, which I didn't think was particularly well handled in the movies either. But you know, you kill Mace Windu, and you go to the temple and you kill a temple full of young Jedi. You're bad.
Yeah.
And it's not like the next scene you should see Darth Vader, but Death Star, boss? You think that's a little extreme? We're going to be blowing up planets now? No, you're all in. Once you choose to, like Lori said, kill the living to protect your own, it seems like that should... Maybe I'm way off base, and maybe Rick's reaction was to go the opposite, like, I'm going to save this guy so it makes me seem like less of a dick and an asshole, but I didn't want to see that.
He doesn't want to come back with the story. I shot two guys
having
in the head.
I'm having a hard time separating what I think is actually objectively good creatively.
Yeah.
Like, that might be a perfectly fine interpretation, and I just don't like it, versus me wanting to call bullshit because it's just objectively bad. For example, how they spent the majority of their time in Season 2.0.
That's what I was going to say. It seems like they're doing this with maybe too many characters. You know, they had this going with Shane for a while. They have this still going with Lori. The Rick, obviously. They might just be doing it with too many characters.
I guess that's the thing. One of your chief problems of the show is the characters are not getting enough development. You don't have time to pull forward and then reverse. I mean, I feel like Rick is... Remember in Austin Powers, the second one, where he gets wet?
In the hallway?
And he's just like... backing up forward, back and forth. You don't have time to do that in the hallway, okay?
Sure.
You need to keep moving forward. And that's why I guess I'm kind of more on the boat that that's a structural flaw rather than me just not liking it.
Okay. Fair enough. The other thing here that I didn't like is Glenn's wild, carefree shooting. Like, he's trying to pick off zombies with a shotgun at, like, 50 yards.
Headshotting them.
I'm thinking, wait until you see the whites or the reds or whatever color zombie eyes are of their eyes, and then shoot them. Because a zombie, you only blow its head off. That's the only way to kill it. If you miss and dismember it, it doesn't care.
Well, I mean, I don't know. It's like Herschel headshotting zombies with that gun that he's not really ever practiced shooting with.
Yeah.
In the dark from 50 feet. That's ridiculously hard. So I guess I'm just going with the show, assuming these people have mystical shooting powers, because Glenn has been practicing.
Sure.
And Herschel says he's good with a gun. He just doesn't like to shoot. So
I'll tell you who is good with a gun. Rick is good with a gun. Like, seeing him step up there and aim a weapon and fire it is impressive.
No, I mean, like, he
has intent
episode
when he holds a weapon.
2, season 1, where he was walking/running down the sidewalk with a bum ankle and headshotting zombies with his python. Very impressive.
Yeah, definitely.
So,
all right, well, let's move on then. Shane finds Lori walking down the road and tells her that Rick and company made it back safe and sound. She believes him and they head back to the farm.
Yep.
I'm thinking smart move on Shane's part.
I agree. Cannot fault the man.
Yeah.
And I would do the same. Unlike the Otis situation, I would do the exact same thing in his shoes.
Yeah. So then Carol goes out to Daryl's camp to tell him that she's not going to let him pull away. Carol tells him to let it out, and he yells at her but doesn't hit her. Here's the good scene. This is a really good scene between Carol and Daryl. And it's really dark, too. There's a lot going on. Like, I'm not certain what's going on in Carol's head here, but it seemed partially like she was, after Daryl didn't hit her, it seemed like she was partially surprised that he didn't and partially surprised that she was going to let him.
Well, I kind of took it, and agreed, this is a very dark scene, but I kind of took it that Carol senses the danger of Daryl and his anger. And she's like, I don't got a daughter, and I'm alone, and I'm uniquely qualified to take this kind of abuse, whether Daryl punches her or whether he just pours out his rage on her character and emotions, and it's just emotional abuse.
Yeah, this
she's
is her trying to save him.
I've got this huge reservoir of pain that I can call upon, and I'm just going to let him because I'd rather it be me than it go out onto the group.
Or him just leave.
He withdraw because he can't get rid of it.
Yeah.
So it's almost like a very selfless act of hers.
Yeah, I mean, I feel that. And the other interesting thing on Daryl's part here is that he is most definitely projecting his fear onto Carol. He says, you're afraid because you're all alone. He's obviously talking about himself here. He has no one else in this group who he really feels attached to.
Oh, sure, he's projecting.
And Merle's gone, so he's got nobody.
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty interesting.
Do you think he actually crossed the line? Because it almost seemed like the end that maybe she had thought he wouldn't go as far as he did.
No, she thought he was going to go farther. I mean, she tensed up and turned her head when he stepped towards her.
Let's see, because I kind of thought that
he was going to hit her.
All right, I kind of saw at the end though maybe he actually succeeded in hurting her.
I didn't pick up on that.
All right,
but maybe. So then Lori and Shane arrive back at the farm, and she discovers that Shane lied. While he's explaining, he accidentally drops the news about the baby in front of everyone. Lori is not too happy about
everyone
that.
but Carl knew at that point anyway.
Did they?
I think so.
They were all giving weird
Dale
looks.
knew.
Maggie might not have because she...
Oh, bullshit.
I don't know.
No, she did.
She does.
She knew about the abortion
pills.
pill.
Yeah, that's right.
So
she had a weird look on her face. I wonder if she was just like, ooh, what's Lori going to do about that?
I don't know. But, I mean, I know for a fact Dale knew. Maybe Andrea didn't. I don't know. So, whatever.
Yeah,
Carl
definitely
is the definite one that got fixated on.
Yeah, so in the next scene, they're in the house, and Carl asks about the baby. And Shane comes to apologize
he says,
to
Mom,
both of them.
How is Babby formed?
Yeah, and she says they haven't had the talk yet. And Dale's not willing to do it.
He seems a little on the old side.
12? Is that how old he is?
In the series, in the comic book, he seems much younger, like 6 or 7.
I think it was 8 in the comics.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought he was written pretty younger, but I don't know. Maybe not. I always thought he was a little bit older than my son, who's 5 in the comics. It's hard to tell with comic book characters. They all kind of have doughy faces.
Sure. Depending on how you draw them.
Right.
The other thing he says here that was a little weird is if it's a baby, or if it's a girl, can we name it Sophia? That's a little weird, Carl. You might ask Carol about that.
I don't know. I think Betty Draper would think it was a fantastic idea.
Oh, well, Betty Draper's a fantastically horrible person. So
that's not creepy at all, Carl.
Also in the scene, Shane comes in to talk to Lori and kind of apologize, and he says that she brings up Otis, and he says that he died because he loves Lori and Carl. Lori tells Shane that Rick told her, or that she told Rick about the relationship and calls it a mistake, and Shane makes a case for why it wasn't.
The way she said, I told Rick, I think this shows I fucked Ted.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, like in the way it was said and the reaction it had on the male part of the show.
Yeah, Breaking Bad reference for people who don't listen to our podcast. Because
it completely stopped Shane in his tracks.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Like a 10-gauge shotgun to a rhino. I mean, he's just and then he started talking about, doing his Milli Vanilli, girl, it's true. Impersonation.
Sure, yeah, definitely. So yeah, there's a lot of I don't know. Shane definitely wants to impress upon Lori that he doesn't believe their relationship was a mistake and that she's better off with him than Rick.
Again, it seems like a lot of this could be forestalled if Lori wasn't such a fucking hard ass. Like,
what do you mean?
I guess from her position, she thinks Shane lied to her. I don't think Shane lied to her. I really think he thought that Rick was a goner.
Well, we have information she doesn't.
But if she was there, but I'm saying objectively, if she was there, she would be thinking Rick was just as dead.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
And that they escaped the Skinner lives from their hospital. So why can't, and maybe I've just answered my own question because she thought he was a liar, but why can't she just grant him that, yes, Shane, it's real. it was real.
I think,
but my husband is alive, and I still love him, and I've got to stand beside him.
Yeah, and I think we got an email to that effect.
Just denying his emotions feels wrong, and feels like something that would make you crazy.
I think the problem here is they are too... Shane is too passionate and Lori is too dispassionate about this relationship, and they can't just sit down and have a conversation. She won't give Shane the chance, and he won't take the chance to explain exactly what happened with Rick, why he thought he was dead. I think that would clear it up. Yeah, like you said, just sit down, have a conversation, and that would clear everything up. Of course,
that you could say that about most relationships.
Yeah, but Shane's still going to feel the way he feels, right? And until Rick is out of the picture, that's not an option for Lori. She's made that very clear.
Right.
So, I don't know. That's a rock and a hard place there. So then Andrea checks in on the comatose Beth, and a very worried Maggie tells her a story about Beth finding and destroying her birth control pills. I didn't have much to say about this. It's just... basically Maggie reminiscing and being sad about her sister's condition.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it's just it's a nice character moment and a very efficient character moment. It tells us something more about Maggie and her sister. Doesn't take a lot of time.
And it kind of lets us know that Andrea isn't totally a heartless bitch, you know?
Does that too.
Yeah. She's still got some emotion.
And also shows that I think if Andrea is representative of the group, that the group is pretty much on to her feelings for Glenn too.
Gotcha.
The way Andrea reacted when he goes, Glenn's is such a nice guy.
Yeah.
So, or a heck of a guy. So
then Andrea prepares to leave with Shane to go find Rick. And Dale tells her not to go because Shane doesn't care about finding Rick. But he picked the wrong person to try to convince because Andrea is loyal to Shane.
I love how... Did I say this to you or did I say that... I can't remember if when I said this or realized this, but I felt like I was watching a political debate. Like, you know, when you see sometimes when you see a conservative and a liberal, and they're like pretty agreeable with each other, but then they'll find the issue that they don't agree on, and one person's like, "You can't be serious."
Yeah, and that would be Dale.
How can a right-thinking person such as yourself believe such obvious insanity?
Yeah,
and the other person's like, "Well, fuck you. This is what I do believe." Blah blah blah. I felt like we've got, I don't know. There's two political factions.
Mm-hmm. Oh, certainly this party is splitting into two here.
And the listeners are just starting to describe it Team Shane, Team Rick.
Definitely.
But, it's like I feel like they're going to start wearing buttons. Because I just felt like that. And if you're Team Rick, you can't understand why the other person's on Team Shane and vice versa.
In my opinion, they're all jackasses.
That's a douchebag and turd sandwich situation.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is going to lead then to a greater schism amongst a group?
Oh, certainly.
To this point, I kind of thought that, okay, Rick or Shane, Rick's probably going to prevail with Hollywood being what it is, and then everybody's going to fall in line. I kind of think that there might be a rip and parting of the ways here.
Yeah, I mean, from what I've seen...
Especially if Rick doesn't man the fuck up.
That's what I'm thinking. From what I've seen, Shane is not going to tolerate Rick's bullshit any longer. Not for much longer anyway. He's got maybe an episode or two until Shane is done with it. Mm-hmm. And that's when things are going to start splitting. I mean, Andrea is obviously loyal to Shane. Dale's definitely not.
Right.
Carl is going to be an issue because he's very much on both of their sides. Right. He likes Shane a lot.
Oh, he does.
So, I'm interested to see how, where the perforation is in this group. Who goes with who. So then... Rick, Herschel, and Glenn, and I guess Randall is in the car, pull up just before Shane goes to find them. Herschel heads inside immediately to prepare the operating table as the group notices Randall. Not a whole lot here. They're kind of disappointed that Rick brought somebody back. They don't know what to make of it. And they don't know the situation yet on how Randall came to be in the car. So then the next scene, Rick explains it. Daryl, convinced by Carol's pleading, shows up at the house to see what's going on. That was a pretty cool touch there. Mm-hmm. Shane declares that we're back in Fantasyland, and Herschel tells him to keep his mouth shut.
Daryl was going to join them to look for Rick, too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, he was all suited up and was ready to go with Andrea and Shane out. So I thought that was...
No, I didn't notice that.
You're right. Carol's efforts were not in vain.
Definitely. Yeah, he realized that he was kind of being a dick, I think.
Mm-hmm.
So he's manning up. I'm kind of starting to feel bad for Shane here because even though he gets into rapey Shane mode every once in a while, everyone just all the time is shitting on him.
But he is an asshole.
But he's making the rational calls.
But he's an asshole doing it.
You're right. It's like you said about that scene earlier. It's the way it's framed. Shane just comes across as an asshole even when he's making the right decisions.
And that's time and time again. It's not necessarily the people that are right that win the argument. It's the people that make the other people feel the best about choosing their argument. I don't know. So
it's pretty messed up. I mean, Shane is doing everything right. He's just not doing it the way the group wants him to. But he's being a
condescending asshole. So unless you agree, he's the classic preaching to the choir, which God knows everyone on the internet does. Doesn't try to see the other person's viewpoint. Doesn't try to connect to him. Doesn't try to empathize with them. Just you're stupid. You're living in fantasy land. It's actually
the stakes
very
are pretty
interesting.
High, though.
The stakes are always high, or you wouldn't be fucking arguing.
The stakes are very, very high here.
The stakes are high in elections. The stakes are high in relationships. The stakes are high in a zombie apocalypse. If you're
raising the zombie apocalypse is a little more serious.
Sure, you're not arguing who gets the biggest piece of chicken here. You're arguing
and maybe
who lives
he should
and who
be
dies.
taking that into account and trying to be cooler about it. You know,
that's what I'm saying. The higher the stakes, the more you want the other person to buy what you're selling.
That's true.
So that's true. And Andrea all but tells him that's like, you could use a little bit of a lighter touch.
Yeah, that's coming up here in a couple
of
scenes. And
interestingly, it would be a pretty good idea if Shane would let her be kind of his envoy. Like they have a powwow and she approaches the group and says, she could be his like ambassador.
So yeah, she's his mouthpiece.
The mouth of Sauron. The mouth of Shane Ron.
I mean, he can't be trusted to communicate effectively, so Andrea's going to have to step in and be a mediator.
No, he can't.
All right.
So, but I like this. I like how many divisions, and now Herschel's getting into the...
Yeah.
Look, I wanted you all gone, and you especially, but Rick talked me out of it, so shut the fuck up.
And I want my seat back at the head of the table, bitch.
That's right. That's right.
So then Herschel attends to Beth, and Maggie confronts him about his drinking and abandoning her. Yeah, I mean, she obviously has some daddy issues here. She can't really, as far as I can tell, do much on her own, which is surprising considering how well we see her operating earlier. Like when they're at the pharmacy, like when they go into town, she seems pretty competent in like her skills, but it also seems like she has some issues with being abandoned by her father, I guess.
Yeah, and I thought this reminded me, I forgot to mention it in the previous scene, but when Glenn and her had that powwow and he left her in the kitchen and they kind of zoomed out.
Yeah.
They had those multiple doorways and hallways that kind of framed her almost like it looked like you were at an exhibit or some kind of zoo looking at a caged animal. And it was a very Mad Men / Breaking Bad camera shot to use.
Yeah.
And it really made kind of the sense of her isolation and kind of the withdrawal.
Yeah, some good cinematography there.
Yeah, well, anytime you can do something really subtly underscore, you should do that. And one of the other interesting points of the article I mentioned previously about Glenn Mazares, he says that he's actually trying to make the show more cinematic. I don't think where Walking Dead has been to this point very cinematic at all.
Yeah, there are a few iconic shots, with Rick walking into Atlanta.
The doorknob turning.
The doorknob turning.
Most of those came from the pilot, though.
That's true. I mean, I guess when it was meant to be cinematic and iconic when the... I can't think of the name, but the big building blew up.
Yeah. That was
CDC blew up.
No. So I would like to see, when I say cinematic, more like this, more artist and painterly in the way they're doing things.
Definitely.
I think Andrew WB's blood vessel in the brain is about to explode right now. I'm trying to ascribe to this show some painterly qualities. He's like, So I feel you, man. I'm almost there with you.
Awesome. So then Andrea comes to talk to Shane about the way he's interacting with the group, like we said earlier. And Shane tells her that they're the only ones who see the war that they're inviting by releasing Randall. And this is a good point. Like, if they release Randall, he's obviously going back to the group that he was with before and saying, hey, I now know where the guys who killed our buddies are. It's a bad move.
It's not an insignificant risk.
Oh, definitely not. I would say it's very significant.
And if you're just going to drop him off like Rick's suggesting and on the main road with a canteen, you're just as good as unarmed. You're as good as giving him to the zombies anyway. So why the fuck did you just leave him there or put a bullet in his head?
Yeah.
So there again, Beta Rick completely bullshitting his way through another decision.
Definitely. So then,
and we get to waste a whole other episode on the denouement of this bullshit decision.
Oh,
I can't wait.
That's the payoff.
I'm on pins and needles to see what happens to this boy.
So then we get to the last scene where Lori and Rick are in the tent. She talks to him about the baby being his, and that she talks to Rick about Shane thinking the baby is his, but she doesn't agree no matter what she says, and then tells Rick that Shane killed Otis and that he's dangerous.
Right.
And she does it in this way. I've got a real problem. Well, okay, first of all, we can talk about when Lori complains that Shane lied to her. Rick just gives this smile, like this look on his face. It's like, what do you expect? You're a bitch. If he would have told you the truth, you would have bitched him out and tried to come after me.
Yeah.
So, like, and it's all said with just a smile. It's pretty funny.
Right.
But the melodramatic bullshit is when